Solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. You will have used this quadratic formula at GCSE. We can also use it at A level, where it's more difficult to complete the square. And we're also going to see where it comes from. You don't have to worry about proof, you don't have to do that in the exam, but you should certainly be able to understand the steps and be able to recreate it yourself for pleasure. That's the formula that you know and love, minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared and minus 4ac all over 2a. You've undoubtedly been told it, you probably have used it, and here is where it comes from. So let's take a general quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. What we can do is we can complete the square on it. Firstly, if you remember that we can only complete the square when we have a coefficient of 1 on the get squared term, so we divide it all by a. So we get x squared plus b over a x plus c over a is equal to 0. Next up, we take that c over a away from both sides in order to get it in the form where we can complete the square. X squared plus b over a x is equal to minus c over a. Then we complete the square. Half of b over a is b over 2a, so it's x plus b over 2a squared minus b over 2a squared equals minus c over a. If you've forgotten how to complete the square, look at the previous video. Once we've done that, it's now just a question of rearranging it, really. So we square the second bracket, so it becomes b squared over 4a squared. We then rearrange it by adding the b squared over 4a squared on to the other side to get x plus b over 2a squared is b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. We then top and bottom of the second fraction times it by 4a to get a common denominator. So we have b squared over 4a squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Once we have a common denominator, then we can combine the right hand side to be b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. Next up, we can square root of both sides. X plus b over a is the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. Should be plus and minus technically there. We can then use the rules of thirds to split that second one up into this plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over the square root of 4a squared, i.e. 2a. We can then rearrange it by taking away b over 2a and then combine the common denominator minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That is where the quadratic formula comes from. That is how it's derived. Whilst you're not expected to be able to do that in an exam, you certainly should be able to understand the steps and be able to recreate it for your own entertainment. You need to be able to recognise when the formula is better to use. But essentially, when the sum looks like it's not going to factorise, and when completing the square looks a bit too much like hard work, that's when the quadratic formula comes into its own. So solve 4x squared minus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0 by using the formula. First step in any question is to write the formula you're using down, and then a is 4, b is minus 3, c is minus 2, substitute those values into the formula and then evaluate. So x is either 3 plus root 41 over 8 or 3 minus root 41 over 8.